green and being eco-friendly are more than just catchphrases in today's world. It really involves a significant mind shift in the way we perceive our impact on the environment. There are a lot of easy choices to make, such as switching to fluorescent lights and implementing recycling, but the real difficulty is committing to other options that are more expensive or time-consuming. Before embarking on this process, it is important to educate yourself as much as possible in order to determine what your level of commitment will be. The good thing that seems to be fairly consistent about this process is that the more you do, the more that you want to do. If you set yourself and your office at the forefront of the green movement, you will find that patients, staff, and your local community will follow. It's recently been publicly announced that there is a 3.5 million ton garbage dump the size of Texas and 3 stories tall in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, currently being referred to as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This has affected many marine life and alternately affected the health of the fish that we consume. Unfortunately, most plastic doesn't biodegrade, and the amount of plastic particles in the oceans has tripled since the 1960s. Many stories such as this one have impacted people across the world. In order to help counteract the damage that has been done and continues to be done to the earth, companies and nations across the world have started participating in the green movement. The great thing about this movement is that it is having so many positive effects and is improving the triple bottom line across the globe. The triple bottom line stands for people, planet, and profit. You can see from this diagram that each one will directly impact the other. When you're doing your own green research, you may find that the terminology that gets thrown around out there has the potential to become confusing. So we would like to help clear some of this greenwashing up for you. Look at the labels before you buy. Many manufacturers will tout their products as being green or natural, but are the products truly sustainable? Neither of these terms really holds much weight, and they have the potential to be quite deceptive. According to the USGBC, green has become the shorthand term for the concept of sustainable development as applied to the building industry, but it's not regulated. VOC stands for volatile organic compounds. There are many types of VOCs. These organic compounds are released from different materials into the air, and many of them may be harmful or toxic. Because of their effect on health, many are regulated by governmental agencies. VOCs are found in carpets, paints, and adhesives. As an added tip, stay on top of your subcontractors. They have a difficult time switching to low VOC or no VOC paint because of this upcharge. When they bid the project, they may not take that additional cost into consideration and will then switch it out without you knowing. So make sure that you stay on top of that. LEED is another concept that gets discussed when talking about green building and design. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. It was developed by the U.S. Green Building Council to be a set of standards to judge green building by. This set of standards will rate a building based on a point system. The more points you have, the higher your rating. LEED gives points for your entire project, from the site selection to the indoor air quality, and then on to green housekeeping. We have several opportunities to increase the score. It is a performance-oriented system where credits are earned for satisfying criteria designed to address specific environmental impacts inherent to the design, construction, operations, and maintenance. Credits are awarded in 5 different categories. We have sustainable sites, water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, materials and resources, and environmental quality. There is an additional category called innovation and design that addresses sustainable building practices not covered under the 5 main categories. Because of the complex nature of the LEED process, we recommend holding a meeting with all team players, including your architect, your interior designer, builder, broker, leasing agent, landscape architect, and MEP engineer at the very beginning of the design process to make sure that all parties are on board and also to determine which points you would like to attempt. I would also recommend attending a USGBC course to help you, as the owner, understand the process and all of the information that will be involved. It would also be helpful to have at least one LEED accredited professional on your team to help guide you and coordinate the efforts of the team with USGBC. Depending on which LEED track you choose, either new building or commercial interiors, there can be over 69 points that can be earned. To become a LEED AP, one needs to have a very good understanding of every single point and how they relate to each other. When I got my LEED accreditation, I took a 2-hour test after studying for more than 8 weeks. And let me tell you, it was very detailed. The LEED AP will have an understanding of the importance of integrated design and will be able to help everyone understand the interactions between the credits, prerequisites, and their respective criteria. He or she should be the person in charge of the LEED application and should be an integral part of the design team. LEED is becoming a required building standard across the country in various state and local agencies. Dallas, Texas is a prime example. Beginning in 2011, every commercial project will need to be LEED certifiable under their appropriate LEED rating system. This will include 1 point for the 20% water use reduction and a minimum of 3 points for the 17.5% more efficient than the base energy code. Home building will also be affected in that all new homes will need to build either the LEED standard or to the Green Built North Texas standard. It is still voluntary for the general public. And that's great news for those of you who are interested in obtaining LEED certification, because many state and local agencies are still offering cash incentives to help the general public go green. Many people are concerned with the rate of return on their investment, and it's difficult to say what that will be because of the variability in the solutions that are decided upon in each project. Check with your local officials to determine what these incentives could be in your area. A statistic that may be of interest to you with regard to the effects of green building on the staff is that the USGBC states that the studies of workers in green buildings reported productivity gains of up to 16%, including reductions in absenteeism and improved work quality based on people-friendly green design. The FIDA register will depend on the square footage and whether or not you or the registering party is a member of USGBC. The average cost to register and certify a project is around $2,000. In addition to that, there is the cost of hiring the person who will help guide you and the rest of the team through the process. There is quite a bit of paperwork and tracking to be done and managed. It would not be unreasonable to budget for an additional $5,000 to manage the LEED process. Recycle, reduce, reuse. This is the mantra of the Green Life. We have a few tips to offer you that you can begin to implement today. Lighting is a big issue with going green. The government has outlawed incandescent fixtures starting in 2012. This has a positive and negative effect. On the positive side, fluorescent fixtures use less energy than incandescents, therefore reducing our carbon emissions from electricity production. Although the bulbs are more expensive up front, it has been found that you can save up to $30 over the life of the bulb, which is approximately 10 years over replacing the incandescents during that time. On the negative side, fluorescent light fixtures contain about 5 milligrams of mercury per fixture. Please be conscious of this and recycle your fixtures or dispose of them properly. You will need to find a local recycling place in your area. IKEA also takes used fluorescent fixtures. If you aren't close to an IKEA, you can find more information at www.lamprecycle.org for places near you that accept these bulbs. Recycle, recycle, recycle. Find out what recycling programs are offered by your municipality and take them up on it. Install recycle bins in your staff lounge. Divide them into sections depending on the way that your local companies need them to be. Install recycle bins at your front desk for paper and plastic as well. When using paint in your space, be sure to specify a low or no VOC paint. Mostly, you want to be sure that the paint meets or exceeds the Green Seal standard number GS11. Something to ask your paint manufacturer about is whether or not the paint you are purchasing meets this standard from the manufacturer or after the color is applied. The reason for this is that the majority of VOCs are found in the pigments. The darker the pigments, the more VOCs there will be. Rest assured though, there are manufacturers out there who do have no VOCs even after the pigment is applied to the base paint. They just may cost a little bit more. For a typical green paint that comes from the manufacturer with low to no VOCs, you're looking at spending between 10 and 15% more than a regular paint. Should you want the paint with no VOCs in the pigment, then you could be looking at close to double the cost before contractor discounts are taken. This can vary from manufacturer to manufacturer and distributor to distributor. It is a little bit more cost up front, but when looking at the big picture, it really is a small price to pay. Did you know that next to diapers, carpet is the #1 material in our landfills? For this reason, it is so important to choose carpets made from recyclable materials. Many commercial carpet companies are using recycled carpet, and they're also recycling carpet. If you're remodeling or moving into an existing lease or condo space, look into the recycling programs that the carpet companies are offering. Many of them will take the recycled carpet even though it wasn't theirs to begin with. When looking for materials for your office, make sure that the carpet has the Carpet and Rug Institute Green Label Plus symbol. This means that the carpet has met the Carpet and Rug Institute's criteria for low emissions of VOCs into the atmosphere. Adhesives should also meet South Coast Air Quality Management District's Rule 1168. They should have a VOC limit that does not exceed 50 grams per liter. There are so many benefits to using green products. This picture shows an example of a geothermal system. This system and systems like it help to use less key resources like energy, water, and land. They create healthier work, learning, and living environments. This picture shows an example of a water purification system. Finally, they improve comfort and productivity. This brings us to some great information that we learned from our friends at the Eco-Dentistry Association. They have taught us that a green practice includes more than just the building. A solo practice that sees an average of 16.5 patients per day during 20 working days a month can save up to $49,055 annually by making these changes to their practice. There are additional savings through your local agencies. Depending on which direction you decide to take, your local and state agencies may offer tax credits and other incentives to build green. You will also see an increase in your property value along with an increase in your public image. In order to assist you in receiving the best public image possible, we recommend documenting all of the eco-friendly aspects of your office, from green construction elements and materials and energy efficient systems to all of the daily procedures you use. Put it together as a press kit and dedicate one staff member to contact local news outlets, government offices, and local periodicals. Also put this information into a format that you can reproduce for new patient handouts, and be sure to include it on your website. Become a member of state and local sustainable building groups, as well as national groups. There also seems to be a movement in the overall medical community to promote environmentally sustainable medicine and healthcare. See if there are any awards and citations for green building available from state or local agencies and apply for them. Many of the dental periodicals offer awards and article placement for certain types of well-designed offices, so look into those as well. Lastly, offer educational tours of your space. This will really help to build one-on-one relationships between you and your community. This concludes our green section of the course. We hope that we gave you some valuable information to think about in your green efforts. Every green action you do locally today, no matter how small, can have a huge impact globally tomorrow.